Hey, Scorpio. Welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having an awesome week so far. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back. Thank you for your subscribing, likes, shares. For those of you who are new, you're in for an awesome journey. What I'm going to be doing this week is a tarot card reading for the week of October 16th through the 22nd. And just a reminder, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me. Never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with that being said, let's jump right into it. Your space has been cleansed. The gems are ready. I'm going to be pulling 15 cards. It's going to be in 5 groups of 3. The middle group is going to represent the nature of your problem. The upper left and upper right hand corner are going to be some future outcomes. The bottom left is going to be the psychological basis of the problem and how to go about dealing with that. And then the bottom right is going to be some messages that your higher self would like you to know. And for those of you who are curious, this is the Aleister Crowley's. This is a guy learning how to shuffle. This is Aleister Crowley's Thoth deck. Imagery on this deck is really cool, so I'll make sure to give you close-ups throughout the reading. So, without further ado, higher self, what do we have in store for Scorpio this week? Nice. Let's get these cards pulled. Let's see what's going on. All right, Scorpio, Scorpio, a lot of big energy this week, I see. All right, bam, done, nice. Oh, I love when you show up in readings, Scorpio. You'll see. Oh, there you are. Let's get this all organized, and we'll get excited. I'm already excited, Scorpio. We're gonna get started. All right. Okay. Nice. Okay, Scorpio. So I had to take a little swig of tea there. So, for the nature of your problem, which, what a great problem to have, you have the Sun. And then the cards that pulled with it are the Knight of Swords and the Prince of Swords. So, I feel like with your challenge this week being the Sun, you are trying to find happiness. You're looking for that victory. That's what the Sun is all about. It's just... look how happy that card is. Every time I get the Sun, it's just like a breath of fresh air. So, and I feel like that's what you're trying to look for this week, Scorpio. I feel like you're thinking about it quite a bit. Happiness has been, which is, of course, that's a good thing to be focused on. And I say that this is where your head's been at, because you have these, really with you having the Knight of Swords, let's start with the Knight of Swords first. With this Knight of Swords, Prince of Swords energy, they're both being in that same group. They're enhancing each other. So I really feel like you're trying to get this crystal clear view about where your happiness lies. With the Knight of Swords, he is about that crystal clear thinking. He's that. Once he's got that, he sees the course, he's gonna go for it with what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like that razor sharp focus. He's the type, once he's locked in, it's done. He's like full steam ahead. He's very similar to like the Prince of Wands, but I feel like his is a more calculated kind of approach. The only minus with him is that sometimes in his approach to get to the end game, get to that Sun, he might not reflect. He gets so caught up on just like moving, being real swift and such, that he doesn't take the time to reflect. So that could be something too, as you're going out to find this happiness. I feel like it's something, in really kind of, I don't want to say that you're being like really calculated about it, but I feel like when you're going out this week, definitely be kind of mindful while you're in your pursuit, to not skip to skip that, to skip the steps. So enjoy the enjoy the journey along the way, not just to get to end game. Because sometimes I feel like, once we get to end game, and then it's like, oh, well, now what? And then you wind up in this Prince of Swords energy, where the Prince of Swords to me is, again, very another smart figure here, but his problem is that it doesn't have, I feel like, a clear direction. You have this, this, I like to figure the prince can represent, you only have the one prince here. Princes usually represent people, or they can, excuse me, not usually, they can represent people. And I usually like to say that it represents you. This is the airy part of air, so you might have some air in your chart, but take it as it resonates. But with this Ace of Prince of Swords, you've got this main figure here who's trying to guide this card, and it looks like he's dominating these forces, these other little fairies down here. But what's really happening is they're all going in every which way, because they know that he doesn't know where he's going. It's like he's trying to get a direction. He's got this focus, but it's really misguided. And that makes sense with him being the airy part of air. It's just air flowing all over the place. Kind of think of it, the Prince of Wands, like that. You need the air. It definitely serves its purpose, but it's aimless. At least in this Prince of Disc energy. And I feel like, what a conflicting place to be. I feel like with some of you, you're trying to figure that out. There are a few of you that are either lost in that, trying to figure that out, and you're getting ready to get into this Knight of Swords energy, or you're in this Knight of Swords energy and you're going. But either way, the end game is Sun. So I feel like with your challenge this week, with some of you, this is really, I feel like you're trying to figure out how to go from this kind of wandering, sort of like, oh, I think I want to do this, I think I want to do this, I want to do that, into getting to that clarity, like, oh, this is the direction that I'm looking to go. And that reminds me, with the Knights too, depending on the direction they're facing, it can be the coming or going of energy, or, I'd like to say that, coming or going of energy. And I don't like to think of it as you're going out, like it was facing away from the nature of your problem. I don't think that this energy is necessarily going away from you. I feel like you're getting ready to go out and get that energy. I think you're getting ready to, you see the goal, now it's just getting there. And I think that really makes sense with your future. I'm gonna go ahead and move on from this, because you're just bragging right now, Scorpio, talking about your problem is happiness. No, I'm teasing. But yeah, I feel like that's what I'm kind of feeling for your energy this week. So yeah, either let's grab the reins on this thing, really kind of get a clear view of what happiness looks like for you. Go out and get it, because we all deserve it, Scorpio, you as well. So let's move on to some future options that we're dealing with. I think I'm going to start with, you know what? Let's start with the upper right. Let's not jump. Okay, there we go. So, on the upper right-hand corner, I pulled the Three of Disc, the Priestess, and the Eight of Wands. So, with this Three of Disc, this could be, the Three of Disc represents work. And work in the sense of, like, I feel like getting ready to start up something. This is Mars and Capricorn. So I feel like this is an energy of going out and keep, getting yourself busy. This is going out and getting that, working towards that happiness is what I should say. This is, it could be something as simple as, you're starting a project, but this is something that I feel like this is you taking that initiative to get to whatever your end game looks like. And I think that, or at least I feel that with the High Priestess being here, this is you really kind of, you taking this work, and the High Priestess is about, I feel like she's about, channeling your intuition, really kind of feeling the vibe, and, she's really refined her gift. The previous card is the Magus, and the Magus is, he's like manifestation in its purest. All of the nice and the chaotic, everything that comes with that, that's his energy. Whereas the Priestess is more refined. She's more in tuned to her intuition, and now she's channeled this energy to make this cornucopia down here. And I mean cornucopia not in the sense of like that thing in that little basket with the fruit. I mean just like your abundance, you know. And I feel like this is, once for some of you, once you've taken this thing and really kind of learned to lean into your feels, things are going to start moving quickly. With this Eight of Wands, the Eight of Wands is about this very electric energy, about, going out and getting what things coming in really fast. Sometimes, I like to think of it as a card that, could be, you're kind of pulled in every which direction. So for you, this could be, this could also apply to that Prince of Swords energy, not to let this be where you're getting pulled all over the place and not knowing where to go. Channeling that energy and using it more as a knight, and using taking that knight, taking that, those skills that you've refined and, trusting your gut to get to that sun. I just want to put the sun in your face all the time. Since you want to put him on, I'm gonna put in your Scorpio the sun. I love it. But yeah, that's one future. That's one future aspect. I won't stay in that too long, Scorpio. We're going to move on from that. And, if the cards want to yell at me some more, they absolutely do. Now, for others on this upper left hand side. You didn't do anything. I pulled these. You're chilling. I pulled the Nine of Wands, your card, the Death card, and and some drunk card. Five of Disc, which we're not that word because you showed up drunk, so I don't even think it's that serious. But with this Nine of Wands, the Nine of Wands to me is it's a card of recovery. This is about getting your strength and, taking that time. If some of you have been kind of wandering aimlessly, really trying to, expending your mental energy, trying to figure out where to go. I feel like this is kind of the time, like, take that time and pause, maybe not necessarily a moon cycle. This is the moon in Sagittarius, but, taking some time, getting these arrows in a row here. You got these 8 arrows underneath here, and then you got this main arrow here, which is led, how funny, which is led by the sun. So, this is basically, I can't make this shit up, Scorpio. So basically, I feel like this is you kind of resting here, getting your reserves, getting the energy, channeling that sun energy, so that when you go out at nights, man, you got that sun. What an arrow. I haven't even gotten to the other cards yet, Scorpio. We're just going to, I'm just throwing the sun in your face. Now, to get to this, I feel like while you're in that resting phase, because I don't know if I actually said anything about the Nine of Wands. It's card of recovery, getting that strength, getting ready for make that really big move. But with the Death card, this is about transformation. And you know all about that, Scorpio. You are the masters of transformation. Whether that be for yourself or for others. I really, that's Scorpio energy. And this is, I feel like, especially when you show up for yourself, this is the time to, really focus on that. You are, you're getting ready to come into a new age. We're getting out of that. We're changing out of that Prince of Wands energy, and we're graduating to this Prince of Wands. He doesn't even know what he is. That's how long he's wandering. We're going from this Prince of Swords energy to this Knight of Wands energy, transforming that, making that work so that you can get that, so that we can get to that sun energy. But I feel like while that transformation is going on, some of you might be, there's some worry here. There's some anxiety. This is the Five of Discs is the card of worry. It could be, more specifically, it could be a monetary kind of stress. The disc in the deck represent earth energy. They are about business and finances, things of that nature. So it could be a monetary stress as well. Maybe this, whatever is happiness to you, maybe it doesn't feel like it's the most lucrative approach. So maybe that's what's got you worried. Like, is happiness really going to pay the bills? And you know what, Scorpio, if you make it work for you, absolutely it can. But it is going to require that work. This is, I did this with Cancer too, but we're getting ready to blend futures here, which is a nice thing about the future, Scorpio. You mold it how you want to. Make the future work for you. These are not set in stone. And that's, we're going to play around with this. But this is going to, basically what I'm getting at with this is that this five of disc, this worry, this anxiety, is going to take some work, but just don't stress too hard about it. Really take more of this time to reserve that energy. Channel that energy into things you can control. And not to say that you can't control, and I just told you can control the future, but what I mean, let me be a little more thoughtful in that. What I mean by that is, taking this energy, instead of channeling into the nature of the card itself, if that makes sense. And, instead of channeling that energy into that worry, that anxiety, channel it more into, channel it into that refinement. How can I take the lessons from this? Because this is saying something that there's something that is, it's like a little warning light. Like, I'm not feeling as stable as I should. And how can I get that more refined intuitively? How do I feel? What do I feel I need to change, to transform, in order to not feel this five of disc energy, so that I'm not just wandering around in this, in this Prince of Swords, wanting to, because sometimes too, with him looking like a domineering force, I feel like that's just because of frustration, because he doesn't know where to go. He has all this power, but no one's listening to him because he's, it's like, well, bro, you said go north. Well, north where? Like, get out of my face. I'm gonna go on. He's going on lunch. He's gonna go McDonald's, and this one, he's just going home. like what are we even doing? So, but I feel like this is, channeling that energy into something that is going to help you get to that sun. Really, I want you to get that sun. If you're going to put it in everyone's face, I want you to enjoy it as well. Don't just put off the sun doesn't just show up to show off. It's there to the sun gives, and it's shining its light on us, and it's giving this energy to us. It's not thinking about, oh yes, look how great my sun energy is. It's just like, wow, look at how everything is responding to this energy. It's getting as much from us as we are getting from it. So I feel like this is, channel that energy into more thoughts of into more like thought spaces like that. How can I, now that I achieve this sun, how can I share this sun with others? Because, you sharing with me, my day has gone up already 10 points. You sharing the sun with me, Scorpio. So, taking that time to get out of that, during this transformative phase, taking that time to figure out, where you're channeling that energy, so that when you do go release that sun, it'll have just a massive impact. You'll be able to go in without any kind of doubts. There's no need to reflect, because this has been an awesome journey. So, yeah, that's what I got for the pretty nice future, Scorpio. I feel like that's you're making it easy for me, which I'm not going to complain. But yeah, there's some really good stuff here, Scorpio. So let's move to it's just gonna keeps getting better over here. So on the psychological basis, or some perspectives to consider going into this oh so hard problem you're having. And let me stop, because sometimes it, if everybody could find happiness so simple, then we'd all be doing it. But sometimes it is about that journey. We do get kind of lost in that, like, five of disc. Maybe, let's say, just for an example, that five of disc mentality. Five of disc happens, but it's to not let that diminish our sun. It's finding that balance, because I feel like I was just telling Cancer this. If you take that time, if you ignore these problems, then they fester. And then, while you're shining your light elsewhere, there's these things that are getting ignored, where really they just want to contribute to the sun. So, yeah, let me stop saying that like it's such an easy problem. This is, know that good things, I feel like there are good things coming too, not just because of your future, but because of the basis of this problem. You have the Star card, you have the Ace of Cups, and then the Three of Wands. Now, the Star card for me is a star. It's a star. It's just a star, Scorpio. That's it. No, it is a card of hope. This is of mainly of hope, and it's like you realizing and coming to the star that you are. I feel like you're a star, Scorpio, and I think that you need to. I do. I really feel like if Yeah, now that I've put it like that, that does, it's amazing how when you change up the view, how that, you know, have hope, Scorpio. That your sun is coming, and I really feel like with the star card too, this could be it could represent also some unexpected help coming in for you. So if you've been having trouble, visualizing, what does your sun look like for you? I feel like there's something coming in that's going to bring that some kind of clarity. Um, and I like that that's here too with this Ace of Cups. With the Ace of Cups here, this is all the aces are the root of whatever element they are. So this is the root of water here, and cups have to deal with emotional, usually have to deal with emotional issues or emotional matters. That's a better word, emotional matters. But sometimes too, you could lump that in with abundance. I love abundance in that sense. It really encompasses quite a bit. But I feel like this is here, taking this hope and then planting that seed. I feel like with them being the roots of the elements, I'd like to think of them, these are seeds that you're planting. Ace of Cups doesn't happen overnight, but when it's nurtured and when you really given that time and you've poured all that in, you've taken that time to rest. We've gotten, again, we're getting intuitive, we're refining our skills. It's gonna get to. Oh, that was less graceful, but all right, I guess the sun doesn't like being thrown around all over the place. So this is getting at. I feel like this is, planting that seed into something that's going to give you that emotional abundance. If you haven't been feeling, because maybe this has been weighing you down, more than like, even I realize, because I'm just getting like a general view. But if there's something that's really that's been kind of really stuck, and that's been affecting your transformation and getting to this rest and transforming phase, your metamorphosis. This is time to plant that seed. Maybe thinking about what provides you emotional fulfillment, and planting that. And that honestly, that goes great with this Three of Wands here, because that's basically what the Three of Wands is. It's about what do you hold virtuous to you. This is the Sun in Aries here. So this is like going out. I feel like wherever you're channeling that energy, channel it into something that's going to make you happy. That's going to keep your balance. This is cool energy, because I think that, oh, don't quote me on this, but I think that the sun is exalted in Aries, which would further I feel like enhance that. Don't quote me. I'm gonna have to look into that, but I do feel like that this is this is finding what do you hold, what holds true to you. Where do you want to, what goodness can you plant with this energy to pour into your Ace of Cups, so that we can get to this star, to get to your sun. That's what I'm getting with the mental basis here. I won't stay too much longer in that. I feel like that's excuse me, Scorpio, you get the gist of what I'm saying. And again, yell at me if you have anything else to contribute. All right. So, last but not least, with where messages that your higher self would like you to know, I pulled the Hanged Man, the Seven of Wands, and the Emperor. So, with the Hanged Man, this kind of ties in nicely with that, with the Death card, because this is a time. The Hanged Man represent a couple things for me. I'm feeling more so here with this. This is kind of a time of, redemption after sacrifice. This is a time of, this is a reflection card. This is really, things haven't been working like things should, and I feel like this is a card that kind of forces us to take pause, and to really, like, if you keep going at the same thing and it's not working, then we end up in a Hanged Man. So now it's time to come at it with a fresh perspective, which is another thing that the Hanged Man can represent. When things have gotten stale, or what something might work for someone else might not work for you. And I feel like this is trying to find. This is the Hanged Man. We've been Prince of Swordsing for a while, and now we're ending up in a Hanged Man, because there's no direction anymore. Now this is taking the time, like, what are we doing? What are we taking to get to this Sun card? Because right now, what we're doing isn't working. So, this is, I really feel like, while we're in this transformative state, really take that time to be mindful. When we're getting in this Knight of Swords, how I had mentioned, he gets shit done, but he doesn't reflect sometimes. And so this is, while we're in pursuit of that sun, take journeys and reflecting along the way, get the life lessons, because in the life, while you're going through the journey, you may not get oh, look at that, even got the, oh, that resonated with one stone. Even on going on the journey, just appreciating the stars that come along the way, like that, those little pockets of hope, like, oh, I'm getting a little bit closer, a little bit closer, a little bit closer. That's what I'm getting with the Hanged Man here, with where your higher self wants to go. And I feel like this is saying, once with the Seven of Wands here, let me explain the Seven of Wands before I get into it. The Seven of Wands is about, it's like a card of courage. It's like, where you want to go, but something is stopping you. You got it's like everything's aligned here. You got all these wands in order, but then there's this one kind of crude one, like, who invited this one? It's like, you have everything that you need. What are you stopping for? Go out and get it. This again, I think this is a card, I want to say it also represents those kind of small victories as well. But regardless, this is about calling for courage, into, like, what are you waiting on? If the stars are aligned, go for it, and I feel like this is, the universe, or at least your higher self, is just letting you know, like, the time is getting close. I know you've been feeling like, I also sometimes with the Seven of Wands, this gives me like that energy of like, oh, I know, again, that kind of Prince of Swords, like, I know where to go. I have everything all in order, but it's just like, where do I put it? And I feel like your higher self is saying, just trust your intuition. You'll feel it. Stop worrying about, I feel like you might be overthinking it, with having both these swords here, in the nature of your problem, and especially having two court cards here. I feel like, maybe, I think you're overthinking this. Too much thinking. And now we need to start feeling more, especially being, water sign. I feel like water signs are, all signs are intuitive, but I feel like water signs are especially intuitive, considering, that they're, dealing with we're, kind of in with our emotions. I'm a Cancer, and, I feel like there's, Scorpio. It's one of those things, really. I like that the Priestess here. I feel like lean into your Priestess energy here, and that's going to help you get to this Emperor. Right. We're wondering when we're going to get to this guy. Your Emperor energy. Because this guy is in charge. He's like, look how long he's been basking in the sun. He's orange. He's loving his happiness. This is, I like that the Emperor showed up here. I feel like this is you, Scorpio. This is you. But this is you in a sense that you in your sun, you have claimed your domain, and now you are in control of you, I feel like this is, and now you can go out and spread that sun. So I like that. I like that. Your higher self is basically telling you you're a boss. So go out and be bossy. Go ahead and show them. Show them what this time. You weren't just spending time reflecting for no reason. No, you were busy transforming, getting that Emperor energy. So go ahead and get out there and flaunt that. Let's see. Do I want to focus on anything else before I transition back? Nope. Let's transition back, Scorpio. But yeah, I really like this, Scorpio. I get it. This is one of those things, and I'm sorry, and I want to apologize. I didn't want to make light of finding happiness, because that is a big deal. Trying to find that sun, but I think I was treating it like that because, it is a really good problem to have. Trying to find that happiness, because that's all I want for you. I want that for everyone, is to find that happiness. So and I feel it, and the universe feels that you're leveling up. You're leveling up, and you're about to get that boss level. So just hang tight, trust your intuition, and you're gonna We're gonna get that sun. It's so close, Scorpio. It's so close. Oh, 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 oh. See, we just got to get it in control. All right. Yeah, that's I won't beat that. Or at least I won't stretch that any longer. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope something resonated with you. Please like, share, and subscribe. And while we're at it, check your moon, check your rising, and I've been telling people to check their Venus. What do I want you to check? Yeah, we're just gonna say the name of the game is just checking your Venus this week. Seeing what brings you love. Seeing how you love, how you express that, and not even just in relationships. Use that to apply with how you're doing things. It might help shed, and I think it will, shed some light on how you can get the most sun moments out of everything that you're doing. So yeah, I like that, Scorpio. Now to move on to Celestial News Weekly. I know that's so over the top, but I can't help it. I like this. I love learning about, and I hope you do too. I hope that that these segments are informative for you, because I'm sure learning a lot. Let me grab a little swig real quick. All right, so with the news this week, on October 17th, we have the last quarter moon, and that's a time. It's a time for transitions and completion, and kind of like taking responsibility for our mistakes and our accomplishments. Not just focusing on the negative, focusing on the positive too. Where have you bossed up this week? What is that about? And then letting go of things that aren't serving a purpose. Or I shouldn't even say letting go. Like taking the wisdom that this moment had to bring for you, because moments like these happen for a reason, and taking those moments and letting those go. Take what, like I said in the intro, take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, because you don't need it right now. So just and I feel like that's what the transition for the last moon, as we're getting towards that, getting into the new phase to go out and, try something again for the next lunar cycle. So next is, and I had talked about retrogrades all last week. I have one retrograde. We're going to keep it kind of light on retrogrades this week. Chiron is in retrograde. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Chiron it used to be classified as an asteroid, but then was later reclassified as a minor planet. And I think it was discovered, it was 1977, and it orbits, for those of you who are history buffs, and it orbits between Saturn and Uranus. And it's known as, it's named after the centaur of Greek mythology, Chiron, who's known as the wound healer. He was, or the wounded healer. He couldn't heal his wounds, but would heal others. I think he trained Hercules and Achilles. But this is, but the Chiron itself is just representing when its influences, or it's what am I trying to say here, Scorpio? When its energy is influencing us, it's a time of kind of dealing with those internal traumas and like really doing some like real deep internal healing. And that's with it being in retrograde. It's a time of catharsis. Really kind of like, just like, and not in like a, we got to deal with all your dark stuff at once. It's just like, what is it that you're ready to deal with, and kind of letting that, remember how I said you're letting those things fester, bringing some of that to light, take the canister, open the lid, let's pick something real quick and then close it back up. We'll get to you, but just taking that time and doing that healing, because once we're with Chiron, it's like, or at least how, and I hadn't thought about that till just now, it's one of those things like, once we take the time and we've healed, we can help others who are going through similar types of healing, or who need similar types of healing. It makes it broadens our compassion in a sense that it's beautiful. So that's what Chiron's going retrograde. It'll be in retrograde until the 23rd. It's been retrograde since July. So yeah, we still got quite a little bit. But so this is taking that time to unpack some things, you know. All right. Oh, and a random fun fact about Chiron is how it spends its time in each sign is really cool. When it's in Aries and Pisces, it can stay there for on average about 7 to 8 years, and then on the opposite side, when it's on Libra and Virgo, it's only there for like 1 or 2 years, and then for the rest of the sign, it averages about 4 years that it'll stay in each sign. So it's Chiron's just moving. Chiron moves how it wants to move. Lastly, I'm going to start getting into aspects, and the aspects are when you hear terms like trine, sextile, squared, conjunct, all those terms. It's just in, for those of you who aren't familiar, it's kind of those, it's how the planets are in relationship to each other, you know. So if, like, for example, the sun is trine with Mars, and to be trine with something, trine, trine, is the planets are at 120 degrees of each other. And with the sun being trine in Mars, it'll be like that until the 26th of this month, October. It's this like you get this impulse or like this impetus to push forward and to start things. You get this drive, like it's time to get that Knight of Wands, or Knight of Wands, you're still swords. That Knight of Swords energy, that going out and just like kind of do. Well, no, I guess it is kind of Knight of Wands energy too, but it's like that knight energy, you know. Very similar to the Knight of Wands, so we're rolling with it. He's, you know, this is, what are you? This is like the sun trine Mars. This is like going out, pushing ahead, starting a project. Starting a project. See, can't make this shit up. Even the planets and the cards align. See, there's some validity in here. But that's what the sun trine in Mars means. And then lastly, you have Venus squared with Pluto. And to be squares at 90 degrees, it'll be like that until the 25th of October. And this is just to a moment to be aware of any kind of like discord in relationships. So if you, let's say, you know, someone's doing some shit that's getting on your nerves, you know, it's just like, oh, how many times do I have to? This might not be the time to blow up. I feel like this is like a very soft, you know, as best you can, you know, maybe if there are some changes that need to be addressed, you know, go at it real soft. Just be like, hey, how would you feel about a death card right now? Like, let's talk about this for a second, you know. You know, if someone presented me like that, I think I'd be inclined to listen. So have fun with it, you know. And just be aware that if things are feeling a little dissonant, or you're feeling some dissonance during this time, that's probably partway what's going on. You know, the planets are tricky, you know, their energies are constantly influencing us. So that's the whole point of this news, to just kind of get you, when you go outside, you look out what you look up what the weather's going to be. So when you're going through life, why not look at how the planets are applying to this thing? Ooh, that's good, Scorpio. I'm going to start telling other people that. Thanks for that. So, you know what? Just for that, well, that just stuck around with me. I'm going to pull a surprise card at the bottom. So let's see what we have here. Nice. Four of Swords. So the four, and that kind of goes, so if you have had any kind of arguments or anything like that with someone, know that the Four of Swords is kind of represents, it's a truce, you know, kind of coming to balance with things. This is kind of like victory after like a hard time, you know, after rest after struggles, you know, it's in that realm of energy. But it really, ultimately, this is about balance. And I feel like once you've kind of, come to terms with that, once we get out of that Prince of Swords where we're kind of wandering aimlessly, and we kind of are coming into like alignment with ourselves. You know, I think this is Libra's card. Yup. You know, this is about coming into, what planet is this in? Nice. So this is Jupiter in Libra. So I feel like, you know, your fortunes are getting ready to come balanced. And what better balanced fortune than the sun? So I like that, Scorpio. I'm going to leave that there. So I really hope you enjoyed this. Have a great rest of your week. Let's keep raising the vibration. And I will chat at you. I will talk to you on the next one. I'm going to have my shit together, Scorpio. Later.